Hey tankers, and welcome back to World of Tanks with PR154, and today we are following Bosnitch of the Fiddy clan, now called Big Daddy once again, in the tier 10 British heavy tank Super Conqueror. And he's got a job to do today. He's chasing mission Alliance-15 Commando. That is the final mission on the Chimera Personal Campaign, in which Bosnitch needs to cause 6,500 hit points of damage to enemy vehicles. For the honours condition, he needs to win the battle as well as destroy 5 enemy vehicles. Now he's got every tool at his disposal to do that here today. For one, he's top tiered. He's also in a hull down fighter that has phenomenal DPM, 2,877 DPM as a base, and of course because you're going to be using your better cruise, gun rams, all those sorts of trimmings, that's going to be accelerated even further. Now the Super Conqueror, as well as solid DPM, it also has quite good gun handling characteristics. Very minimal dispersion on movement and on turret rotation. That makes it an incredibly stable fighter. And that's particularly where you might be working a downslope using its 10 degrees of gun depression, and you might have a number of different targets that you're trying to engage left or right, or you might be working that ridge up or down. So it's quite effective at doing that. It also has an incredibly strong turret. Even the cupola is not really a weak spot. When you're trying to engage this cupola from a hull down position, because of the way the cupola slopes back, and I think we might even chance zooming out. You can see it slopes back like so. Even though just frontally it looks like a cupola, just like any other cupola, it becomes incredibly bouncy. In fact, you end up with quite easily auto ricocheting a lot of incoming shells. The facing on the turret, you're ending up with around 320 to 380 millimeters of effective armor. Of course, you're also quite well protected on the turret facing by all those big slabs of 20 millimeter thick spaced armor, and it makes it really difficult for those higher penetration heat shells to punch through its armor. You also have some rather large slabs of spaced armor on the upper frontal plate, and that makes it very forgiving in that sense. In a hull down engagement, you can quite easily be getting up towards 400 millimeters of effective armor on the upper frontal plate as this thing is playing hull down. And to be fair, the enemy's down range at the moment. IS-7, IS-3-2, they're not really the best equipped hull down fighters. So they're not going to be seeing very much penable facing on Super Conqueror at all. Of course, operators do need to be aware there is a bit of a shot trap in the turret ring immediately below the gun barrel, which has a measly 280 millimeters of armor. So if you are loaded for bear and you're carrying at least 280 millimeters of penetration, you have a reasonable chance of hitting that spot if you do manage to catch that Super Conqueror on a bit of an overpoke. Of course, that assumes, of course, you're not shot in turn by its rather accurate incoming gunfire. Even standard rounds penetrate for 259 millimeters, which is pretty adequate as a standard AP shell for tier 10. The premium shells, which Bosnitch is throwing down range in no small measure at the moment, they penetrate for 326 millimeters, which is pretty good for APCR. I know a lot of heat shells and that sort of thing. They'll punch through for about sort of 330, 340. So arguably this might be at the lower end of the punch scale, but you've got a shell that also travels with considerable velocity, and it's not really interfered with by spaced armor. Another little oddity on the Super Conqueror, it also fires a Hesh Shell as its high explosive option for 120 millimeters of penetration, and that really allows it to absolutely tear through lightly armored vehicles. Particularly when you consider that while you're hitting for 400 hit points, normally you get up to 515 hit points, and so you're starting to approach 4,000 damage per minute with the high explosive shells. So at the moment, he's been able to play to his strengths quite well. He's hanging back. He's playing from the second line. He's really only exposing the turret. And just using accurate fire to engage these enemy vehicles as they present and really start to chip away at this damaged target. 6,500 hit points is what Bosnitch needs to be able to pick up here, and so far he's over halfway there, arguably 2/3 of the way there now. At this stage, however, he's only managed to inflict 1 kill on the enemy team. There's still another 4 kills that he needs to pick up, and there's only 8 of the 8 enemy vehicles left, which means he needs to kill half of the remaining enemy team. Unfortunately, not reloading in time to get a nice, easy 60 hit point victory over the Leopard 1. There's still plenty of hit points in the tank in the IS-32 and the WZ-114. Bouncing the shot there off the IS-32. The IS-32 also bouncing the shot off in return. Bosnitch returning to the hull down position. Now at this point in time, a bit of a shot trade is developing. IS-32 with the magic of the bush there, they can appear to be able to get shots on Bosnitch in a way that Bosnitch can't quite see where those hittable points are on the IS-32. Now, of course, that might all change if changes to that are in the common test server at the moment go through, where the identifying the silhouette of enemy vehicles will also identify the parts of its silhouette that you can actually shoot through and which parts might be obstructed. So that'll be super helpful in situations like this, where this IS-32 is using the wrecked T-54E1 as cover. Now the IS-32 is punching shots into one of the few vulnerabilities of Super Conqueror. That is the lower frontal plate. Of course, that's a common weak spot, one that's quite catastrophic for the Super Conqueror and its predecessors, as it's a quick way to get through to the ammo rack. But Bosnitch takes their second kill for the game, knocking out the WZ-114, tracking the IS-32 in place and meeting his damage goal of 6,500 hit points. One more shot into the IS-32, and that lands the third kill. Still another 2 required. This tortoise looks juicy, and he sends that back to the garage as well. This just leaves 2 enemy vehicles on the team, the FV-4W5 Stage 2 and the Granatenwerfer Tiger. The FV-4W5 has been found and quickly shuts down their friendly Grille 15, possibly a shotgun of the century there. Bosnitch calls out in chat, 1 more kill for mission please, and the STB-1 appears to be obliging them. They could have quite easily landed a follow-up shot into that Granatenwerfer Tiger, but Bosnitch comes in for the kill, and that is the honours completion done. And of course, a victory as well, which is the honours condition. So let's take a look at those results. Fantastic gameplay there by Bosnitch of the Fitty clan, or we should call ourselves Big D clan, or Big Daddy clan now, in the Tier 10 British heavy tank Super Conqueror. That is an Ace Mastery badge for his efforts there, also scoring the High Calibre Battle Heroes medal for accounting for at least 25% of the hit point pool of the enemy team. I'd say it was a bit more than the 20% that's required to pick up this medal, but he's collected over 7,200 hit points worth of damage, and of course collecting 5 kills, which was also critical to knocking over that honours condition. And of course, the victory being the other condition required to satisfy Alliance-15 for the Chimera. He's also picked up a couple of badges of merit as well here. Bruiser for damaging enemy vehicle modules or injuring crew members at least 5 times in the course of the battle. The Duelist medal for destroying at least 2 enemy vehicles that, of course, damage to them in turn. The Fighter medal for destroying at least 4 enemy vehicles. So he has hit the upper limit of that of 5 vehicles. 6 being a top gun, but no need to be greedy here. We got the mission. Fire for effect, which goes hand in hand with with high caliber. Having a look at the team scores, this was a rather significant top placement by experience. He's come in about 35% higher than the next vehicle, which is the AA Phase 1. Of course, Black Death in the STB1 and G-Score in the other STB1, also having quite a good game. Honourable mention to the Grille 15 on their team, racking up nearly 6,000 hit points of damage themselves. On the enemy team, Tortoise defending their corner quite well, as was the WZ111 and IS-32. Unfortunately, not quite carrying hard enough today. Having a look at the detailed report, in true Big Daddy style, only gold fired in the course of this battle, but when you got a job to do like these personal campaign missions, and you're feeling like you're on a good thing, then it's probably the right thing to do under the circumstances. Now, we did have some mission payouts running. Also running premium account. So in spite of the ammunition bill, it's only been a very minor deficit in the credits. So I guess that goes to show that in spite of firing all the gold, just making the penetrations, having a massive impact on the battle, then these sort of games don't necessarily need to be extremely costly. And have a look at this. Of 26 shots fired, he's actually landed 25 of them, penetrating 21 of them in the end. So quite precise work there, and making the most of the fantastic gun handling of the Tier 10 British heavy tank Super Conqueror. And if you've got a game that you're really proud of and would like to share with the community, please reach out over Discord or any of the links below. We'll do our best to sort you out. In the meantime, take care out there.